You're listening to Thunderheads, a podcast for Thunder fans by Thunder fans.
Welcome to Thunderheads Weekly Wrap-Up Podcast. If you're tuning in on YouTube Live, welcome. We're psyched to have you. If you're listening in on iTunes, Google Play, we're still psyched to have you. But just know that you can find us on YouTube. I'm Brandon Soul, joined by the Thunder Time himself, Mr. Justin Wright.
Light up, as if you have a choice.
Dude, I forgot about these. Like, it's
I
been so
did
long
too.
since I've podcasted with you.
I have no idea.
No clue.
This sounds like a half-baked quote.
No, it's Run by Snow Patrol.
He said half-baked.
That man over there is the leader of the mob, Sir Jacob Niffen.
Hello, hello.
And, of course, we have the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Yes, sir.
That was a delayed yes, sir.
I
I was wondering if you had heard me. Today, we're going to talk about the Thunder's hot streak, this little mini hot streak they're in, Paul George's motivation, trade targets for Oklahoma City, and a game of Who's That Guy? Yes. Thunder Player Edition, the most versatile game out there.
It's the best.
We have no rundown today. Oh, wait, hold on. We got to get to the disaster of the week. That's my bad. That's my bad.
There you go.
It's the end of the week pod. So the disaster of the week this week. Here we go. You guys ready for this?
I'm very excited.
Ready for spaghetti.
A couple were left nasty rashes on their backsides after they were infested by worms following an afternoon on a Caribbean beach.
The hell?
The unnamed pair were left in severe discomfort after parasites known as hookworm larvae burrowed into their skin following time on the sand in Martinique.
Oh,
They're just worms hanging out on the beach?
I guess. And do they penetrate the skin and live in there?
I
And they're larvae.
Yeah, I think that they have to have a host. It's like a parasitic thing, so like they've got the host and they just like feed off the blood and shit. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's like
is it literal shit because they burrowed in their ass apparently?
No.
Well, it's in the cheeks.
Yeah, ass
of the
cheeks.
butt, not in the cavity. Where am I at? The woman, who was 52, said she felt an initial burning sensation before an eruption of red pinprick marks the next day, while her husband also presented himself with an itchy rash following the stop-off on an island during a cruise holiday. The pair were giving antibiotics, antifungal agents, and steroids on the boat, but they proved unsuccessful. The couple were treated with ivermectin, a medication used to combat parasites which can treat scabies and head lice. But 5 days later, the woman was rushed to the hospital with a chest infection, dry cough, and shortness of breath.
Oh, man.
Wait, you can get it.
This was a bad beach trip.
This seems like it turned south real quick.
I think my first question is, were they sitting like bare-assed on the beach?
That was also my question, but it doesn't say. But you would think they would, right? How could these things...
They can't just go through some swim trunks.
Yeah.
Is it weird to sit bare ass on a beach though? Like
Nude beach?
Yeah, if it's a nude beach.
what if it's not a nude beach?
If
What
that's
then
a
in
nude
that
beach,
case,
that's
yeah.
the worst nude beach ever. Come
Right.
sit nude on our beach where
That's
we
probably
have
how the
hookworms.
worms got there.
Yeah,
You could
everyone has them.
Yeah.
the guy's wearing a Speedo and the girl's wearing a bikini or one piece.
That's-
like her ass is exposed, his ass is exposed.
That's a
and,
great
yeah.
point.
That's true. But look, there's pictures of these people's bodies on this article. I
They-
would hope that these people aren't wearing, the little teeny bikinis or the one-piece Speedo. What else
Would
we got
not
here?
be a good look.
She was given a second dose of the medicine along with her husband, who also developed a dry cough. The case was published in a recent British Medical Journal report. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, it's gross. There's pictures here, and, man, they got bad butts. They got bad butts, guys.
They do have bad butts.
But, yeah, no, I think your point's the most valid here, Jacob, because were they naked? And if they weren't naked, that's scary. If they were naked...
That's frightening. That's an epidemic we
they-
got to worry about.
If they were naked, they're probably not doing that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time they go to a new beach.
At least they weren't laying like chest down. That'd be pretty awful.
But here's the thing: there's beaches that you don't have to, they're not technically nude beaches that people are nude at.
Yeah.
It's like
it
optional.
happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but there's not like a sign that says nudity if you want. Like,
There's at every beach there's a nudity yes or no sign.
Yeah.
It's like no.
There should be. Yeah.
No
circle.
here.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that though? Is it like an uncomfortable thing? Like if you're at the beach and it's kind of person that probably shouldn't be nude. Like obviously if it's a good
Those
looking
are
person,
always
like,
the
I
people
get it,
that
dude,
are
I get
nude.
it.
No, those are always the people that are nude.
Yeah,
I
that
like
would
that.
be really uncomfortable.
That's unfortunate.
Like, I think if you want to go naked to the beach, there you should have like your own section of the beach, like kept separate from everybody else. Segregate them.
it's always the 50-year guy that's quite overweight. He's got that patch of gray chest hair right here. He's balding but is like super tan because all he does is go to the beach naked.
Yeah.
It's always that guy.
Whole body's really tan. Which
It's
is
either that or the woman equivalent to that, right? It's
Yeah.
a woman that has leather for skin.
she's 79.
For some reason, still thinks she needs to be in the sun. You're like, lady, nope. That's going to be a no.
You're going to get skin cancer.
Yeah.
And how have you not?
Yeah, you may already have it. All right, let's get to the Thunder. We're all really excited here. Just got away from watching that Cavs game. Big win. No rundown today because we have no Rob, but we did a podcast before the last two games. Thunder played the Kings, got a little revenge on them in an ugly game, but they got a win. Then the Lakers came to town, who apparently the Thunder seem to have their number.
And they're also terrible.
They're
That
terrible,
helps.
and the Thunder took care of business there. And then the Thunder go to Cleveland in one of the biggest games of the season, even though it was against a struggling Cleveland team. Kevin Love plays 4 minutes,
Maybe.
three
Then
minutes.
his tummy started hurting, so he had to go to the bench.
So did you have audio on the
Yes,
game? Because
yes.
we didn't. So what did the broadcast say about Kevin Love?
Just that he was sick and would not return. So
That was it.
Was he actually sick, or was he just sick?
I'd be pretty
of not
sick if I
playing well.
pulled up my first shot and clanged it off the side of the backboard as
Right.
well. So
And that was a bit of a worry coming into this game, because the Cavs have been playing Kevin Love at center, so that basically matches Steven Adams up with Kevin Love. That takes Steven Adams away from the rim. So that was a little bit of a worry. Can you rebound? Can Carmelo rebound, even though he might be on Jay Crowder, also away from the basket? First couple minutes of the game, Steven Adams completely dominates, sets the tone for the Thunder, and it carries on throughout.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Kevin Love got sick. I wonder if
Got sick.
he got subbed out and then started feeling sick.
That's-
Because they wanted to get Tristan Thompson in there quicker to match up against Adams because Adams was just annihilating.
Well, it's
Kevin
funny.
Love.
While Kevin Love was in the game, we were talking. We were like, he was getting worked like real bad, and we were like, I don't think he can play. Like, I don't know if they're going to bring him back that much. And I was thinking they might bring him back at the 4. And then I thought I heard them say something about him being sick, and I was like, that's kind of strange.
I had tweeted that it is nice to see Adams, how much he's progressed since being with the Thunder.
Yep.
And just the fact that he creates mismatches for teams out there now. He's consistently, 95% of the games, he's the biggest player on the court. And oftentimes, even if he has a guy who is his match size-wise, he's more athletic than that guy.
And he's stronger than that guy.
He's stronger than that guy.
I mean, the Charlotte game, there were Charlotte players after the game saying that, most of the time we have the strongest guy on the court, the guy that can out-physical everybody else, and Dwight Howard. We didn't have that whenever Steven Adams was out there tonight. Steven Adams worked Dwight Howard. I honestly think Steven Adams, as far as physicality and strength on the basketball court, not like, getting in a room and lifting a weight, but on the basketball court strength, Steven Adams might be the strongest guy in the league.
Well, did you see what he was talking about? So I think it was must have been before the Hornets game. Nick Gallo was interviewing him. They were asking him about, like, people keep saying you're the strongest guy in the NBA. What do you think about that? And he was like, I don't think I'm really that strong. Like, I think there are a ton of guys that are stronger than me. And then talked about he doesn't actually practice it, but really likes jiu-jitsu and the study of, like, creating leverage. And, maybe he's obviously a really strong guy. You could see it. He's muscular. He's huge. But maybe just like him knowing how to create leverage, knowing how to get to spots and get guys into really awkward situations where he's always got the upper hand. And you always see it in the paint. He's always in the right spot to create just that little bit more leverage and outwork a guy and get offensive rebounds.
Well, there was that one move where it almost looked like he stepped out of bounds, but he didn't, and he kind of like went under the guy, and it was
he
just
rolled.
Amazing that he somehow got between that guy and the rim. I didn't understand.
And he can effectively use that off arm as all the strength that he needs.
Right.
So it's one thing to be the strongest guy in the court at all times, but it's another thing to be able to just use it properly.
Exactly. Yeah, it's strength, and he's not awkward with it. You know. So yeah, no, he's been incredible, especially these last two games. Primarily just annihilating people on the glass.
Really, the big four for the week were really good. Paul George shot 48% for the week, and a lot of that was today.
Yeah.
Had an incredible game.
He was
because we just talked about his struggles and looking uncomfortable and everything, and then today he came out and really kind of put all that to rest.
Let's get into Paul George here in a bit. But yeah, he shot 48% for the week. Russell Westbrook 47% for the week. Steven Adams 75% for the week, and Carmelo Anthony 53% for the week. Then throw in Andre Robertson, who obviously doesn't shoot a ton, but he played 2 games this week and he shot 67%. So a 3-0 week for the Thunder, 4 games in a row here. Maybe this is that type of win that, we got a big win on the road. Now, I know the Cavs haven't been playing well, especially defensively. You saw it super early in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, how scattered is that team defensively? Like, it was chaotic. They create their own negative momentum.
Yeah, they really seem to.
Yeah, so, like, going back on the other end, I feel like it was something you don't often see in NBA basketball where teams just lose control right from the tip, and it seems like the Cavs kind of do that.
Well, and I was a little afraid today. Pretty much throughout the whole game, I was like, okay, at some point we're going to do that Thunder thing where we're just like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore. And it kind of looked like that started to happen in the second quarter, but somehow like they ended up getting it under control. But like when we started out and we were up like 8-0 or whatever it was at the very beginning, it was very quick. I was like, oh no, like we're going to have that quick start and it's just going to plummet from here. And they managed to keep it together, which is a really nice thing to see against LeBron.
Dude,
at least
148 points.
Yeah.
In regulation, 135 offensive rating for the game. Yeah, I don't care how bad a team is defensively. That's pretty impressive.
Still good. Yeah.
20 assists for Russell Westbrook. A game from Paul George that we haven't seen. So I want to ask you, Jacob, and everyone who wants to chime in here. Is this a win that we need to be encouraged about, or is this a simply struggling Cavs team that the Thunder went in and took care of business?
It's hard to say one or the other. I think with everything there's a little bit of gray area, but this is
Pick one.
4 in a row. Okay, I'm gonna go encouraged.
Get out of that gray.
4 wins in a row. They are at a season high, 6 games above 500.
Oh, good point.
I mean, earlier this season, I can't specifically recall what game. I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up. I think there was a game where the Thunder went to overtime and did not score 100 points. Does that sound correct? I think that's right.
Seems like a thing they would do.
I think that's right.
Which game?
Was it maybe the Memphis game? Or did that game go to double overtime? I can't remember. Anyways, we know that the Thunder had their issues scoring the ball this year.
Sure.
I don't care how bad, and you just kind of mentioned this, how bad Cleveland's defense is playing. They have NBA players on the court, and the Thunder just lit them for 148 points.
Yeah.
And
some really good NBA players, too.
Yeah,
that roster looks pretty good on paper.
Exactly. And so I think this is a game definitely to be encouraged by. I think slowly they're trending definitely in the right direction. It hasn't been linear. It hasn't just been we were bad and now we're good, and it's just constantly going up. There's dips, there's valleys and peaks, but overall, this team is getting much better, especially I think it's kind of been understated how much Andre meant to this team, not only defensively, but offensively.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's something we talked about while he was out, too.
Yeah.
He fills lanes. He makes the right play. He's always making the right play. He doesn't care about himself.
Yep. He runs in transition. He cuts. He makes himself available. He's passing the ball really, really well, swinging it from one side to the other.
Yeah, and I think when we saw that 6-game winning streak before, what clicked to me, and I've mentioned this before, is what seemed to have clicked with everything was how they figured out how to use Dre, and then all of a sudden he was gone, and it was like, oh, well, now what do we do? Like,
what's the weird part about that, though?
Ball?
Not to interrupt you, but the worst part is 2-3 games after Dre goes out, the offense continued to click. And then it kind of slowly... Right. I don't know if it was just something that happened, like a wrench.
It was kind of weird, yeah.
But, and I think that in that stretch where they were still playing good offense without Dre, some of that was just they were making shots. Paul George was just unconscious in Los Angeles.
The weird thing about today against Cleveland, obviously how good the Big Four was. Everyone... Carmelo, 11 for 19 for 29 points. You'll take that for a Carmelo game all day.
Yeah.
29 points on 19 shots from Melo. That's huge.
He played such a good game today.
12 for 19 for Paul George for 36 points, which, again, we're going to get into. 12 for 13 from the field for Steven Adams. Totally dominated the game. Best player on the court probably today, unless you want to say Paul George, but Adams was just unstoppable. 9 for 17 from Russ with 23 points. And you're like, well, he didn't keep up with those other guys.
Can I jump in here for just a second?
20 assists.
Yeah, no big deal.
And that stat line that Adams had, he's only played 10 minutes in the first half.
Yeah, because
he got a foul trouble.
Yeah, if he plays his normal, 14 to 15 minutes in the first half, there's no telling what that that number is.
Well, I don't think there's any question the Thunder have one of the top 2-3 starting lineups in the entire NBA. You know, you go through the plus minus here, plus 22 for Carmelo, plus 29 for Paul George, plus 30 for Adams, plus 26 for Westbrook, plus 32 for Robertson. Now, what's crazy is they did what they did with the bench in that first half, really laying an egg in the first half.
Would they score 8 points total?
I don't know. In
I
the,
think
in
it
the
was.
entire game or in the first half?
The first half, yeah. I know that's
That
what
sounds
they
about right.
because it was like 24-8 their bench to ours at some point.
Yeah, that sounds right. So, you know, they did all this. And so it is nice to see the Big Four have these moments where they just click and everything goes well and all of them are playing well simultaneously. Is it at all scary to think that that's what it almost takes for this team? Or is that actually inaccurate to say that that's what it takes for this team and it's just nice to see? And maybe they don't actually need that, you know, all four of them to play like at that level, but it is nice to know that they can play at that level. Does that make sense?
I think it's a little bit more of that one. I mean, obviously if they're all four clicking, we're gonna destroy people. That's when we're like gonna kill them.
Yeah.
But I think we can still win games with one or two of them hitting, and the other one's not being so effective. And we've seen that a couple times where we've gotten wins where it's like.
It was a little surprising to see Billy Donovan go to that all bench unit today when you have a Cavaliers bench that has Dwayne Wade, has Derrick Rose.
Right.
Who else is on that bench? I mean, Kyle Korver.
A
lot of
they have
Tristan
veteran NBA
Jeff Green,
players
Tristan
who are
Thompson, veteran guys
who know what they're doing, and then we have a bench of like.
That was a little worrisome for me, and maybe it's just one of those things Billy Donovan is not so worried about. We have to win this game or anything, and maybe he's just like, this is what I'm doing right now, and we're gonna stick with it for a bit. Is that crazy?
Well, we had talked about, and this was about a month ago. We talked about the bench because the bench has struggled pretty much all year, but building that continuity because we kept it like Paul George with the second unit just wasn't working. But you almost had to build some sort of continuity. So it's like throw those guys out there with each other, maybe establish some continuity with them so that as the year progresses, obviously we've seen the starters finally click. Mm-hmm. Maybe as the year continues to progress and we get to, that 60-game mark, if you've thrown that bench unit out enough with each other, that they'll know how to play with each other. So you can plug in a Paul George, you can plug in a Carmelo Anthony, and you've got four guys that are used to playing with each other that you just have to integrate that one guy rather than trying to integrate like two or three or even not knowing how to play with each other.
That's true. And maybe there's some sort of element that this is a organization philosophy. Let's play these guys. Let's throw these guys out there to showcase them in case, we do want to trade one of these guys. Maybe try to up their value a little bit, get them some court time.
It's definitely a possibility.
It goes into something that we're going to talk about today as far as,
trades.
Trading.
Yeah. And the bench has been a little inconsistent. And I think that part of that reason is because of the rotations and, it's constantly mixed up. Today, though, Billy Donovan went back to a bench rotation that I've kind of been fond of, which was 4 bench players plus Steven Adams.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Did he do that in the first half?
I don't know if he did in the first half. I know for sure he did it in the second half.
Yeah, for sure in the second half. Because he left Adams and Robertson out there at one point.
Yeah, and, I think Adams just adds so much offensively based off the fact that he's a good passer. Yeah. He's a hell of a screener, right? He can get really anyone open through screening for them. And
offensive rebounding
for sure, and I think those things can really, really help that bench unit, which honestly lacks a little bit of size. When you're playing Jeremy Grant or Patrick Patterson at the 5, that
and
bench
not to be harsh, skill.
Yeah,
yes.
No, that's definitely true.
And a lot of them can jump high though.
That's true. Speaking of size and offensive rebounding, just digging through these stats a little bit, this is the one that jumps off the page. Rebounds today. Cleveland 28, the Thunder 52.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Almost doubled them up on rebounds.
16 offensive rebounds to 3. And that goes back to the Lakers game where the Thunder had 21 offensive rebounds, I think. 21 or 24. I might be getting that wrong. It's 21 or 24, and the Lakers had 6.
Yep.
Yeah. You dominate a team like that.
That's Steven Adams.
Thanks, Steve.
Yes, that's Steven. I mean, and I brought it up last podcast. How nice is it to, we talked about how much this team might miss Enes Kanter, and I think the team does miss Kanter to a certain extent on the boards as far as defensive rebounding goes.
Right, yeah.
Offensive rebound, though, Steven has stepped his game up to almost just be like, well, we don't need him anymore. I can do it all.
And not only does he just swallow offensive rebounds, but he's so smart with the ball when he gets that offensive rebound. He can tap him back. He can dunk him back. He can go to the other side of the rim. Or we see times where he gets it and kicks it out or makes a slick pass to a cutter. You know, it feels like the Thunder score on like 60-70% of their second chance opportunities. And that's huge.
And when they can score on that percentage of their second chance opportunities, that makes them really hard to beat.
Exactly.
And if Adams,
it's very discouraging for people when they just keep getting offensive.
Sure.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like, oh God,
Because
That'll wear
you
you
have to
down.
do that again.
You can defend an NBA team for a possession.
Yeah.
But you give any of these teams in the league 2, 3, 4 shots at the rim, they're going to score.
Yeah, it's an
it
NBA
doesn't
team.
matter.
Yeah, it's an NBA team, and especially when Adams is making the right decision, and you have those guys ready to shoot the ball outside of the 3-point line, and Adams can put a pass on the money, and those guys are ready to shoot. It's great. Adams has sometimes I think Adams is too passive.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I want him to be more aggressive. But let's move on to Paul George because he had such an incredible game. He deserves us to talk about him. What do you have? 36 points?
Yep.
36 points on 12 for 19, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 for 11 from 3, and got to the line 8 times, knocking down 7 of them. Huge game. Hit some really tough shots. Didn't just settle for open shots. Took some contested shots and knocked them down. This is a Paul George we haven't seen this year.
While playing like really good defense on LeBron.
And even IT at times.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just nice to see him be aggressive too. Like he wasn't just making threes, you know, he was like getting into the lane, kind of making some weird off kilter shots and stuff. Like there was that one he hit over Crowder that was Crowder was like in his body.
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't get a foul call on that one.
I
know
know
exactly what you're talking about. He had some floaters go today, which, you know, typically if Paul George gets into the lane, he's either stopping for a pull-up J or trying to get all the way to the rim. But he had a couple floaters today, which is a little uncharacteristic. But I think a big thing for him today was he started off hot, hit his first few buckets, and then Russell Westbrook continued to look to find him. You know, and didn't let the hot hand go to waste.
If he's engaged like he was today, and that's what I want to know, Justin, I just don't know if he is this what it takes for him to be engaged? These big games, and if it does, is that a problem?
It certainly seems like it, doesn't it? Because look at the two teams that were in the NBA Finals last year. The Thunder 2-0 against, and Paul George had pretty good games against both of them.
One of those being on the road.
Yeah, and
today?
Maybe it's just we've gotten to the point where Paul George has to feel like he needs to get up for the game. That's definitely a bad thing to have when you're sitting in the middle of the regular season. It's January, and you've struggled for quite a bit of the season compared to what this roster should be. But yeah, maybe he's just one of those guys where he really has to, one, get up for the game, and then Russ has to do a really good job of playing like Russ, because obviously early passive Russ was bad.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
It wasn't very good, but you know, Paul George sees a few go in, Russ kind of attacks, then starts to distribute a little bit, get Paul George worked into the flow. And I think Russ has really figured out, and Carmelo and other guys too, how to get Paul George the ball when Paul George needs the ball.
Sure.
That's a really good point. I feel like we've talked, I mean, I just mentioned this where the Kings game and the Lakers game, he looked uncomfortable. Like Paul George didn't look like he was really into the games. And so to me, it's a bad thing right now that's the case, where it's like, come on, man. Like, it doesn't matter that they're not a good team. Get up for the game and be into it.
Right, these games matter.
It's a bad thing right now. When we get in the playoffs, we won't have to worry about that, I would assume, because it's the playoffs and you're going to get up for that game, right?
The thing that worries me about this is, and I don't want this to come across negatively or in a negative way at all.
I'm already offended.
but it seems, you know, Cleveland's defense has been terrible, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. And today it's hard to tell if the Thunder did anything special today. I mean, obviously you did when you score 148 points. It's not like
special.
another team has scored 148 points on Cleveland. So obviously the Thunder played well offensively despite how bad Cleveland was.
Yeah.
But do they just kind of like relish in when it comes easy to them, or are they willing to work for it? You know what I mean?
I love that question, because that's the same thing every time we play the Timberwolves that I keep bringing up, is that they don't have that, like, are they willing to be that tough team that they've been in the past, where you can
sometimes you gotta grind out a
will a
possession.
win, you know, like you have to work for it,
right?
And are these guys going to do that? I don't know.
Can they grind out those possessions for points? Does Paul George have that ability to make a tough shot when it matters? And tonight one of the biggest possessions of the game, not necessarily for the game, that I came away with was Paul George had LeBron on him, guarding him one-on-one, and Paul George was just kind of sizing him up, little hesitation moves, got to his spot, pulled up, good defense by LeBron, popped it right in his face. Really good defense, and you just you're not seeing that out of Paul George all season long. You know, he's knocking down open shots.
Yeah.
He's really not knocking down contested shots very often.
Right. When there's somebody on him, you're like, oh God, don't take that.
And so going back to what Rob was saying last podcast, where he was like, you know, I think we all thought we were getting a little more offensively from Paul George when Paul George came to Oklahoma City. That's what we were kind of hoping for.
Yeah.
A couple of those a game. Just
Yeah.
a couple of those tough shots late in the shot clock where we can rely on you and say, here's the ball, 5 seconds left, go to work, man.
Definitely. And a quick counterpoint to that, not saying that like Paul George doesn't need to do that. Like you need guys that can just go get you buckets, right? You need dudes. But
Gotta have dudes, man.
I like the fact that a lot of times he hasn't had to get that because the offense is running well enough to where they can get him a shot with at least a semi-clean look, right? And so I think, yes, he needs to be able, and you need guys that can just go out and get a bucket, right? Especially when the playoffs come around. Like throw all that other stuff out the window. You just need dudes that can go out there and play and get a bucket.
Sure.
But I also feel like the offense is running at a well enough pace right now, and it's really clicking to the point where you don't have to rely on those type of shots. Maybe that's what I'm getting to. You don't have to rely on Paul George being able to hit a pull-up J over somebody else.
Yeah,
you know?
and you don't want to rely on those things.
Yeah,
but
You need it to be there.
Yeah, the truth is come playoff time, those shots are, you know, they're going to have to be able to be made.
Right.
Yeah.
The game today was played at a 109.5 pace, which I'm willing to bet is in the top 2 or 3 games, fastest games the Thunder have played all season long.
Yeah.
And it makes you think like, yo.
Play fast.
Yeah, maybe.
Do this more.
Because
pick
you
it
know,
up a
you know what
little
other
bit.
game they played really fast in was that Golden State game.
Right.
They played really fast in that Golden State game, and it worked out really well
And
for
those
them.
And
were
the Thunder-
both really cool wins.
The Thunder are so long defensively that when you get a team on their heels and you get them scrambling and just searching for, like, it becomes really hard to just score on you and keep up.
So
I agree.
As far as Paul George, you know, we talk about the want to, the motivation. Maybe it's a game where, you know, he's the main guy on LeBron. LeBron goes 8 for 17 for 18 points. He was a game low minus 33. Minus 33 for and obviously, you know, Paul George cooked for 36, played really well. He was a plus 29. LeBron coming into tonight.
You know that felt good for
today,
Paul George, by the
That
way.
had
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. LeBron coming into today needed 25 points to reach 30,000. He only scored 18.
Didn't get it.
So, you know, maybe that's one of those things. Maybe just this combination of I played really well, I shot the ball well, I really dominated on a court where LeBron was right there trying to get to 30,000 points, and I
On
held
his home
him.
floor.
And you held him
and
down.
I held
Right.
him down. Yeah,
That's a
he's got to
huge
wait
thing.
until Tuesday against the Spurs.
Well, I do think that's almost a selling point in itself to Paul George.
Yeah.
Right? Like you said, Justin.
Yeah.
You're 2-0 against the teams that have been in the finals the past 3 years.
When you done that?
So it is nice for him, I would think, to come away from those 2 games that they played these teams to be like, yeah, I've never felt more confident in playing these teams before. That is something,
Yeah.
right?
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Hey, you know who's not 0-2 against Golden State and Cleveland? The Lakers.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because that's where he's supposed to go.
2-0?
Yeah, 2-0.
Oh, so
not 0-2. So I said 0-2. I meant 2-0. The Lakers are not 2-0
Yeah.
against those teams.
I mean, that just goes back to it. I guess we're going to find out what Paul George cares about this summer.
Yeah.
That we're going to find out. Regardless of how the Thunder do in the playoffs, we're going to find out what. I mean, I guess unless LeBron says, "Hey, I'm going to LA," then you can scratch all that.
That
But
seems like it'd be so weird.
I don't want to focus on what Paul George is going to do on the offseason. I don't want to do that right now. But one guy that I thought played pretty well today that, you know, has been hit and miss this season, Patrick Patterson. Knocked down a couple threes, had a couple possessions where he got stuck on LeBron.
Did a very good job on LeBron.
And in the past with Toronto's used him as LeBron's primary defender in the playoffs. He did a really good job on
He
LeBron
did.
today.
And I didn't realize that he had that capability, I guess, prior. Like, because, you know, when he had to come in the game for Adams against Embiid, and he did a really good job on Embiid. And I was kind of surprised. And then you stick him on LeBron, and I was like, oh, no.
Right.
Did a great job.
He did.
And, yeah, I mean, he was just solid tonight. And we got to see him finally with the starting lineup kind of, and that was cool to see. He
It
did
is.
he
I'd
did
like
pretty
to-
well.
I'd like to see some more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he thrives with a traditional big man on the court with him.
It'd be nice to know if that's actually true. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like
have
to
a better sample size.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think Patrick Patterson is just. I think he's starting to put it together, you know, and I think you're starting to see an accumulation of that. I don't know. Some people are still kind of down on him. I love that guy's game, and I think the things that he does, he just makes winning plays.
Yeah,
right.
he-
Offensively and defense, he just makes winning plays.
He's a veteran on this team that I think that this team is going to need when it matters.
Yep.
And that was going to be my next question. Is he a guy that is trustworthy? I mean, he hasn't had the best season. Let's not,
No,
we don't have to beat
definitely
around the
not.
bush. He hasn't had the best season. But do you trust him come playoff time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took him a while to knock the rust off.
Which I still think he's doing a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
but
still
he's,
got a ways to go.
it's clicking a lot better. He looks more comfortable. The way he moves on the court, like he's finding better spots to be in. It's not like early where he'd try and go to a spot and there'd always be someone there and be like, oh wait, I can't go. I have to go somewhere else. He
Right.
looks comfortable defensively. He's not the greatest on-ball defender.
No.
But at the same time, he's really opportunistic. Had 2 steals tonight. He seems to always be in those passing lanes. He makes those
Yeah.
deflections. He had that big block against Embiid when we played the Sixers. He does all the little things right,
Winning plays.
and that's why I think exactly winning plays like you guys were saying. That's the thing that makes me think that when we get to the playoffs, he's a guy that you can absolutely rely on. He's got that veteran savvy.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there before. He knows what to do. He's just comfortable enough now that you're really starting to see why we got Patrick Patterson in the first place. So yeah, absolutely rely on him.
Well, and it seems kind of like when you're saying like he's not a great on-ball defender, but then whenever it matters to be, he kind of rises to the occasion and like steps up.
It's weird. He almost matches up. It's almost like his best matchup is with guys that are strong.
Yeah.
Which LeBron is one of the, if not the most athletic person in NBA history.
Has to
Obviously Russell Westbrook's up there too, but
he's
that's what's kind of strange
a
is that he does a
goddamn
good job
beast.
on LeBron.
Yeah.
But LeBron, a lot of his game is just bullying you.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm just going to overpower you to the basket.
right because most guys in the NBA he can just move aside.
Right, because you're not, LeBron's not going to double cross you over, step back and hit a
Yeah.
mid-range jumper in your face. Like he might.
He could.
He
Yeah,
can.
He
could do
might,
that.
but that like
But that's
But
not
it's
his
easier
game,
for him
though.
to
yeah,
just
you'll
move you out of the
gladly
way.
take that.
Yeah.
You'll be like, fine, you can have that, dude. Whatever. Well, I just want to point out one more time, Kevin Love's stat line. 3 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field, no points, no rebounds, no assists, no steals. I got the rumbly tumblies. I can't play.
You are one pathetic loser.
Why wouldn't you just say something before the game like, I can't play?
Yeah.
Why wait until Steven Adams is busting your ass to be like,
Steven Adams didn't miss from the field except for that 60-foot heave at the end of the third quarter.
That was the one
Which-
miss, right?
Yep. By the way, he's and he was 1 of 5 from the free
Which,
throw
by the
line.
way,
But-
are you guys? Yeah, he's been struggling from the line lately, which is
Not as bad as Andre Robertson though.
good point.
Hey, he got poked in the eye. That's not his fault.
At one point, I was hoping
Eyes were red.
by free throw number 3, I was just hoping he'd close the other eye too and shoot it.
Might
Should have
work.
pulled a Michael Jordan. Just
Adams kind of did this last year, where he started so well from the free throw line, and he just kind of slowly
Yeah.
declined.
I do want to say on those Robertson free throws though that ABC panned like up close on Robertson in between free throw 1 and 2, and Isaiah Thomas was over there talking so much shit to him,
I bet.
and Robertson's looking back, one eye squinted
gotta
at him.
be so
I lost
brutal.
it, dude.
It's
it's gotta be rough.
So
at this
brutal.
point, because obviously we've seen that Dre really needs that confidence, and that really just like opens up everything for him. What he needs to do is, even if he misses the first one, even if he airballs the first one, take the free throw, turn, and just start walking down to the other end of the court. Just like, I know
Yeah.
it's going in. And just have
Oh, he
that
just
confidence
goes-
about
he
it.
just
And
walk
he'll
off
start
free
making
throw?
his second one every single time.
I don't understand why he hasn't tried to start banking free throws in. Is that a
Right.
bad idea?
I know it's a great idea.
Anything
Hit the square.
is a good idea.
Yeah.
at
Hit
this
the
point.
square.
Although we're talking about his confidence. I like that he airballed the first one by about 1.5 feet, barely got the bottom of the net, missed the second one, but then was like, no, you know what, F you, and he went and he ripped down the offensive rebound and went up to get fouled again.
Right.
Even though he missed the other 2 again,
know.
at
He
least
needs
he was
to just
willing
make
to.
his shots before he gets
So
fouled.
That would help.
That would
That
help a lot.
reminds me of something. So early on, we were struggling to rebound as a team. Do you guys think that Andre Robertson stepping up as a rebounder, do you think he's really filled that gap that we saw early on?
Huge.
Been
He's a body
mass-
you have to put a body on.
Yeah. And I think as when you talk about offensive rebounds too, if it's not Adams, it's Dre getting those. It feels like, unless it's a Russ
Well,
put back or
let's
something.
do a little fun game right here. Let's rank the order of players on this team that you trust in terms of trust.
Ooh.
We've done this before. I think we did it before the season. Remember when we ranked the Thunder players before the season, and we created collective ranking systems? I'd be interested in going and looking back and
should do
revising that and seeing what that would be at now. But I think number 1, we would probably all trust Russell Westbrook.
I would agree with that.
Number 2. Let's
Steven
talk,
Adams.
Let's talk
Steven
playoffs.
Adams.
Who do you trust the most come playoffs?
I'm gonna go Paul George number 2.
I'm gonna go
I would
Steven
go
Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yeah.
I'll go Paul George. So we'll have a split vote here, but I'll go
Yeah.
Adams 3.
I'll go Adams 3. I assume you guys are going
Okay.
PG 3. Oh, Justin.
Yeah.
Huh.
What?
I'm gonna go Carmelo Anthony.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because you talk about a guy that can create his own shot, who loves backing guys down. He's,
Doesn't always go in though.
Sounds
It
like
doesn't
you're
always
describing
go
Paul
in.
George.
Yeah, no, I would take Carmelo Anthony.
I'm okay with the Russ, PG, Adams.
I think Paul George has been in more battles in the playoffs than Carmelo Anthony,
True.
and that's why I would trust
Yeah.
him more.
I think that Carmelo's at the point in his career where he's missed the playoffs so many times. He hasn't
He
got
has.
yeah, that I think he's hungry enough and he's just like, I get a chance to do this with a really good team. We can go do a lot of things. I think come playoff time, we're going to see why we went out and got Carmelo Anthony, because this is exactly the reason
God, I
why
hope you're
he's
right.
on that this roster.
If you are right, I think that bodes well for
Yeah,
this
we're gonna
team.
be fine.
Earlier, Brandon was talking about you need some
Oh, I
pardon me, you need some motherfuckers that can go get a bucket, right? When push comes to shove. Carmelo Anthony is that guy. You get
Sure.
him in the playoffs, he'll get a bucket on someone, right? Oh, motherfucker.
One thing
Can I get a sounder, please?
I do want
You can.
I do want Melo to go ahead if you want to. Motherfuckers! I do want Melo to focus on being efficient with those opportunities of just
Yeah.
getting a bucket on someone. So sometimes like he'll back a guy down. Like tonight he had Isaiah Thomas on him. Right in the post. Great matchup. This is a matchup you want to exploit if you're the Thunder.
Yep.
He dribbles like 4 or 5 times. At that point, you haven't got to where you want to take the shot. Kick it back out, reestablish your position.
Yep.
And that's
And don't
something
back solely for a bucket, back to create a good shot. Whether
Sure.
that if they don't double, that you take that shot. If they double, find the open man. And I know that IT play you're talking about, and it didn't go well. But then I think 3 possessions later, he got J.R. Smith on the block, and it was, it was buckets.
Yeah, he schooled J.R. Smith a couple times
Yeah.
tonight. And it's just little things like that. And I think this team will get better on those things as the season goes along. And maybe Carmelo Anthony hasn't trusted teammates to the point where maybe he thinks in the past if he does kick it out, he's not getting the ball back.
right.
And maybe he thinks that now, but that's something that needs to be vocalized within this team, because that's it goes back to Russ too. Sometimes he gets Isaiah on the block and he doesn't get to where he wants to.
And he did it correctly tonight. At one point, he did kick it back out and then got it, and it worked out really well.
So I'm assuming the rest of you guys are for Carmelo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
more for
For
Carmelo.
And that's where I'm putting Paul George.
So obviously
So-
the big 4 are the top 4. So
Yeah.
who would number 5 be?
Andre.
Dre,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I love me
you,
some
you don't
Dre.
expect anything offensively.
Yeah.
But you expect all these
But
little
you get
things
some.
that he can do.
Winning plays.
That just exactly. Back to
plays.
winning plays. He does the things to make this team
Yeah.
so much better. It's never going to fill a stat sheet like you want to. He's not going to the All-Star game. He's not really going to get any award recognition because, well, hell, he should definitely be Defensive Player of the Year, or at least up for it.
You know
should be
what?
up.
He's not
He
getting
should be
any
first
of this
team
talk.
this year for
Yeah.
sure. So who do you put at number 6 then?
Hold on.
Okay.
You know what would be a really nice thing for the NBA, I think, would be to have, and this is probably never going to happen, but
Like
to
a
have like
not
an
all-star-
like
a
an
not
all-star
all-stars?
role players.
That would be
game.
awesome.
It would only give role players like
I would
motivation
watch
to
that.
fill their
That'd
role.
be cool.
Yep.
Andre Robertson would be one of those players.
Definitely.
And Steven Adams would be one of those players.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Ray,
I'm going Ray.
Ray.
Raymond Felton.
Yeah.
And then so who's number 7?
Pat.
Just bench everyone.
just Pat,
I'm going Patrick, number 7.
and then after that,
I'll probably go Pat 2, and then I go Grant 8.
Yeah, I'll agree with that just because of previous playoff experience,
Yeah.
and they're older, and obviously what I
And-
said about Patrick Patterson.
And then
earlier.
after that's a crapshoot.
it's bad. It's
I
bad
agree.
after that.
And that's why. Okay, so let's go into it. Let's get into this trade talk. And before we get into these names that you're going to present us, Jacob, I want to ask you guys: should the Thunder make a trade, or can they can they afford to get rid of people off this team, or do they need in other terms, do they need to look at the buyout market? Do they need to look at the free agent market and just add to the team as opposed because they have that 15th roster spot open? So maybe if you trade,
I think they're gonna have to do a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Like I think they definitely need to look at the buyout market because you're gonna run into the problem of what you were doing when you got PG and Melo. Oh, suddenly you don't have any depth anymore if you're just sending players out.
Sure.
So they're gonna have to do something with a pick, which they don't have a ton of. And
if you're in Presti's situation, I'm sure you really don't want to give up a pick unless it's someone else's pick that you have.
But if you have to send 2 guys out for 1, you're in trouble at that point.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's not great. But it's
this
not like
team cannot send out 2 guys for 1. You can't.
Part of the problem is you can't send a first rounder until like 2024
Right.
or something like that.
And no GM is taking a first rounder for 2024. It's just too far off.
Yeah.
Half the GMs in the league won't be GMs anymore in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get fired.
It's true. All right, so let's do this then. Let's just kind of how do you want to do this, Jacob? I'll just give you the range. You want to just present these names and then we'll go around the table and we'll say if we like these names. And we're not talking specific trades. You're not giving us names.
I'm not giving you scenarios or anything. And before we do this, just to make a little pitch, if it's all right, some of these names are names that are going to appear in our Thunder Trade article that is going to come out on thunderheads.com.
OKC Thunderheads.
OKCThunderheads.com here in about a week or so. And we will also be going live February 8th, trade deadline day. About 2 hours before the deadline, we're going to be live on YouTube, hanging out, talking about trades as they happen, as Woj and Shams break news. So if you're into the trade deadline talk and stuff, definitely check that out. And so we're going to tease a little bit of that today. So
you're just going to fire us some names. We're going to say if we like them on the Thunder, love them on the Thunder, or hate them on the Thunder.
Exactly.
I like it.
And you do have to consider that the Thunder are going to have to give someone up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are just names. These aren't hypothetical trades. This is just someone that they could bring in. I've got a little bit of information on each of these guys. So, Justin, we'll start with you. First guy on my list, Jody Meeks from the Washington Wizards. 6'4" shooting guard. He's 30 years old.
He's only 30?
Yep. He is a career 37% three-point shooter, and he's averaging 6 points per game this season.
Could have swore he was 47
Been hurt
years
for
old.
about 6 years now.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Wasn't he playing with the Lakers for
Yeah,
a long time?
a while.
Yeah.
And he went to Detroit for a little bit.
Nice with the
I
Wizards.
mean, I like it.
You like it?
I don't love it.
I like
I don't necessarily hate it. I'm so frustrated with Abrinas at this point. It's just like anyone that could probably shoot,
Bring him in.
anyone that could put up a shot and,
And
it goes in, like that's probably good for me.
I think you saw today, Ferguson gets a little bit of run.
Yeah.
Rotational run. Abrinas gets none except in garbage time.
Yep.
You know,
As the third string point guard, which is
not to
that's
take
strange.
a side road here, but do you think that that's indicative of something that we're going to see going forward?
I think Abrinas is expendable for sure.
I agree.
So, Brandon, do you like that one, love that one, or hate it?
I hate it.
I also hate it.
Hate it? All right.
Yeah.
Brandon, we'll start with you on this next one.
Cool.
Next name, Norman Powell of the Toronto Raptors.
Love it.
Found himself on the end of the bench recently. 6'4", 24-year-old, 33% three-point shooter, solid defender.
Loved it.
I love getting Norman Powell. I think he has a lot of potential. I think you've seen flashes. I'm not sure that he's going to be the answer coming in and be like, we're good now. You know, I don't think
Everything is solved.
But I think that he's a guy that can come in and you can give him a defined role and he can fill it.
Very good.
Agreed.
Jason, do you like that one as well?
Yeah, I like
love it.
I like it.
Just like it. All right. Jason, we're coming to you with this one.
Uh-huh.
Next name on the list is Dwayne Dedmon,
You
big
ready,
man
bro?
from Atlanta. He's 7 foot tall, 28 years old. This season, he's averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds. And surprisingly enough, he is shooting 38% from 3 on 2 attempts a game for Atlanta this year.
I'm going to go loved it.
Nice.
Loved it.
Really?
So you're a
I
fan
like the idea of bringing in a better big man than Dakari. So,
All right.
and he seems like the perfect backup center for any team. So,
Heck yeah.
he's spent some time with Pop. He knows how to play.
I like it. I'm not convinced that it would just be great,
Yeah,
but it might be good.
it would help.
Yeah. I just don't know.
I don't think it's like solving over problems. Just
I think
kinda-
I think I bank on the Suns buying out one of Tyson Chandler or Greg Monroe before making the trade for him.
Why haven't they yet? It's weird.
I think that's more of a thing that you do closer to the buyout deadline.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
All right, Justin, we're coming back to you.
You want to use him as trade bait if you can, you know.
Try to get something for him before you just cut ties.
You got to get
This all
their
makes sense.
mindset,
This
bro.
all makes sense.
All right, Justin, my next name, another former Pop disciple, Jonathan Simmons from Orlando. 6'6", 28-year-old, averaging 14 points per game this season. Solid defender.
I love it because he's on my fantasy team.
Loved it.
That's a good reason.
So
like
yeah.
it.
Is it, or is it the worst reason?
Or a bunch of just
When you're going with the logic to bring him onto the
Armchair
team,
GMs
maybe
over
it's
here.
not the best, but
I just wanted.
I like Jonathan Simmons.
I wanted to have something to say after I said I love it.
there you go.
Nice.
All right, Brandon.
Okay.
Huh?
Next one. You ready? Coming from the New York Knicks, which Sam Presti has history trading with.
Sure.
We're going Courtney Lee, 6'5", swingman, 32 years old. He's a 39% three-point shooter for his career, shooting 43% this season, which is on par with Paul George.
I like it, but here's my concern with Lee, is that I think that he, I think that he benefits more from playing with players that are better than him. You know what I mean? Players that can get him going.
Yeah.
Being in a starting lineup.
Okay.
And he's not going to be in that for the Thunder. Now, he's a veteran.
Would he be in the closing lineup?
Who are you taking out?
Robertson?
No,
You don't think so?
Do not do
Okay.
that.
I don't think so. I don't know that there's a trade you can make that player would take Robertson's spot in the closing lineup at this one. I think Robertson does too much for this team. Too much.
Unless they're hacking him.
I think that the reason you bring in guys like Paul George and Melo is because you can rely on them offensively,
where you
along
don't
with
have
Russell
to-
Westbrook, to where you don't
Have
you
to
can
bench
yeah you can bring
Robertson.
in these defensive players to lock up.
Very nice. All right, Jason. This is an interesting one.
Come at me, bro.
Coming from the Dallas Mavericks, how do you feel about Nerlens Noel? He's
I was
6'11".
prepared for a Yogi Ferrell.
I thought you were about to
6'11".
go JJ Barea, and I was going to say, fuck that.
We don't want any hobbits on this team. 6'11", 24-year-old. All of his numbers, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, have decreased every year the past 4 years.
Well,
Oh
he's
my
also only
God.
playing
That's not good.
0.4 minutes. I'm going to go like that.
I like that.
Just because I think he would be really good if he was in the right spot.
Is Nerlens Noel what Jeremy Grant hopes to become?
Well, they're different positions.
Yeah.
So-
Quite a bit different.
I can't say that. Now Nerlens Noel would be an awesome piece for this team.
Yeah.
Problem with Nerlens Noel, he's in a contract here.
Yeah. And he's not restricted next summer.
It's not
Yeah, right.
restricted. You have
And
no
I've-
idea what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
'cause-
he's a bit of a distraction is maybe the easiest way to put it.
Well,
I mean,
especially where he's at right now. Like, they're having problems with him.
yeah,
for
he gets
sure.
hot dogs at halftime instead of staying
Yeah.
in the locker room.
Sounds
which
like
is a-
something I would do.
It's a baller move.
I like it a
Let's
lot.
be real, it's a baller move.
Actually makes me like him more, so bring him in.
But Jacob, would you agree with it might be too risky for the Thunder, given everything they've gotten themselves into this season. It might be too risky to get a guy that's going into a contract year.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, Justin. Coming from Utah, Alec Burks, the 6'6", 26-year-old. He's a 30% three-point shooter for this season.
30%?
34%
34.
three-point shooter from this season. He's also averaging 3 rebounds and an assist this season.
His name's Alec.
Burks.
I like it.
It's keep
You like it?
I like it. Yeah, he's
I like that.
got some speed to him too, and some athleticism. I feel like it really
create his
fits
own shot a
in.
little
Yeah,
bit.
it fits into kind of what
The
I want to see
Presti-isms.
with that second. Yeah, and he's a Presti guy. Yeah.
Is it a little worrisome that Alec Burks has played for the Utah Jazz for 22 years, yet has not been able to just bust through
Still has it.
Yeah.
the main rotation?
Yeah. Even
Little
after
bit.
the loss of Hayward and everything, like
Sure. He's gone in and out.
Yeah.
He almost
He's never
almost
stuck.
strikes me as a Jeremy Lamb character.
kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like
a little bit, yeah.
like not necessarily the same type of play, but the way that everyone expected him to just continue,
Right.
and he just kind of has.
He
it.
just never
Yeah.
made that leap to kind of be like, oh, you're solid.
Although Jeremy Lamb's having a really solid year.
Yeah.
Did
Limbo.
did Alec Burks play?
Colorado.
Did he play with Dre? Or is he a little bit?
I
younger?
think
looked
he was
this up the other
before.
day. I think he was right before. I can't remember.
See,
I thought about looking up, and then I was like, oh, I don't care about college basketball at all. So
There you go.
it's the worst.
Although Andre Robertson and Spencer Dinwiddie did play together at Colorado.
And
They
then
did.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
Dating
Banged his
his
sister.
Well, they might be celibate.
No.
You don't know that.
You see,
You don't know that.
They played
Do we
2
have any
years
more
together.
names?
2 years together? Yes, last one.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Last one. This one is kind of for all of you guys. I'm not going to specify it to any of you
Perfect.
Well, it's Brandon's turn.
all. This one comes from reports from Zach Lowe and Mark Stein last night on Twitter, saying that they've heard throughout the league multiple GMs and front office execs that Utah would like to move Rodney Hood before the trade deadline on February 8th. He is a 6'8", 25-year-old wing player. Career, he is a 39% three-point shooter. He's averaging 3 rebounds, 2 assists a game, and about 17 points this season.
All right, let's all give our answers.
I'll
on
count you
3.
down, right?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Loved it.
What'd you say?
I said I love it.
Loved
You
it.
whispered that shit.
Yeah, I couldn't hear yours, but I thought you said it.
I'm into it. He's gonna. It goes against what I was saying earlier. He's going into a contract year.
Although
but
he is unrestricted. Or sorry, he is restricted.
restricted, and I do wonder what his market will be.
Yep.
It's one of those tough to gauge markets for him.
Now, I did hear that Utah has made calls around the league, kind of trying to judge what his market will be. What would teams be willing to pay? And that may be one of the reasons they're looking to move on from him.
One of my favorite things about this guy is that he just slaps people's cell phones right out of their hands all the time, and it's the best.
badass.
Like, you can't be more baller than that.
I think people in Utah have been low on Rodney Hood because he's a little inconsistent and he's not that go-to guy they need. The Thunder don't need a go-to guy. The Thunder need a
They need-
fourth option.
Yeah, and a guy who's not scared. And
Yep.
he's a bit of a chucker. Like he's gonna just shoot some shots up that you're gonna be like, it's gonna have you slapping yourself in the forehead sometimes. Which
He's got great length though at 6'8".
Yeah,
I don't
yep.
think he'll close games, but I think you can play him deep into the fourth quarter with those other 4 starters and have another shooter out there.
and if you have an injury, he's there.
yeah.
All right, let's do a little advertising.
Let's do that.
Today's pod is brought to you by Jesse Edgar. He is the OK Computer Guy. If you guys have listened to the last 2 podcasts, you know this guy's been sponsoring our pods for a couple podcasts now.
Solid dude.
He's a great guy. Stationed right here in Oklahoma City. He does IT work. We should probably say what he does.
Yeah, he'll fix your computer.
He will fix your computer. You're having computer problems. He does it for as low as $40. Prices are half of what places like Geek Squad offer. So obviously use this guy. He's
And
right
you-
here local, and it's
And you don't want to use them.
yeah, and it's good to just use a local small business.
And you can trust him. He's a good dude. He's got a 5-star rating on both Google and Facebook with over 100 reviews. So this is word of mouth, you know? That's how you know he's good.
Yeah, no phone book business.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. 1 to 3 day turnaround time, so he'll get you done quick. And if you like his Facebook page, you can get into his Thunder ticket giveaways, and sometimes he give away computers.
And who doesn't want free Thunder tickets? And the guy's not going to
Yeah.
make you feel like an idiot because you don't know what's wrong with your computer. He's going to sit
Yeah.
there and walk you through it and tell you what's going on, and he's going to help you out.
Exactly.
So if you want to contact Jesse, his name's Jesse Edgar, phone number 405-326-4011. Go to his website, www.okcomputerguy.com, or on Facebook, facebook.com/okcomputerguy. Give Jesse a shout if you're having computer issues. He will help you out. Today, like I said, 1 to 3, or like you said, 1 to 3 day turnaround.
time.
So he's going to
That's
help you
quick,
out.
and he's a good person.
Yeah.
That's what really matters.
All right, let's get into the next game, huh?
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
All right, guys. This is a new edition. Well, not a new edition. It's just been a while since we've done this version of Who's That Guy. I'm going to read clues about a player that has at one time or another worn a Thunder uniform. There's been 82 guys in history that have worn a Thunder uniform.
Same amount of guys.
So
games in the season.
here's the deal. When you think you know the answer, I'm going to read off these clues, and when you think you know the answer, you're going to buzz in by saying your own name. Your name's Jason, Jacob, Justin.
Thank God you said that, because I
almost forgot.
I was blanking.
You'll buzz in with your own names. And if you guess incorrectly, you're allowed no more guesses for that round, okay? So it's a risk. If you buzz in and you get it wrong, you're out. It's left to the others.
I'm about to take a vow of silence for this game.
First to 5 wins unless no one gets to 5.
That's very possible.
All right.
That's very possible.
First one. This guy's been out of the NBA since 2014 after 5 total seasons. He originally came to Oklahoma City in a trade from Utah. His career high in points is 24 and assists is 12.
Jacob. I'm going Eric Maynor.
Nailed it.
What?
Yes.
Not what I thought.
I miss Eric Maynor.
I love that guy.
1-0-0.
I'm getting
Next.
buckets, guys.
Probably how this is gonna go.
This
cook.
guy is a combo guard. He wore number 7 for 3 seasons in Oklahoma City. During the 2011 NBA lockout, he returned to the University of Texas to finish his degree in applied learning and development. He's currently an assistant coach.
Jacob.
Ah,
Holy shit! I just started going blank.
Jason Royal
3.
Ivy.
Damn it.
Got it.
I didn't even get a chance to think of it. What's our time
blanked.
limit?
You know, there's
sorry.
no jeopardy here.
I just
Next
buzzed
time I'm
in
not
and steal
gonna say
that
I
if
shit.
he
forgot it.
buzzes
I
in,
buzzed in, swooped it up,
yeah,
Jesus
he can cut
Christ.
you off in the left hand.
and I will. I
All right,
will.
what do we got here?
I'm gonna cut
so
your
we got
damn neck.
Jacob 1.
Shit, that got dark real quick.
Jacob 1, Jason 1, Justin zilch. Next, this guy's just 22 years old. He was drafted 56th overall by the Denver Nuggets, which said pick was purchased for $730,000 by Oklahoma City.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
Fun fact, the pick was originally owned by Oklahoma City, but it was sent to Denver in the Randy Foye trade, and OKC bought it back. He's played a whopping total of 2 games for Oklahoma City. He spent most of his time in the G League, where his numbers are pretty outstanding, averaging close to a triple-double.
Jason, Daniel Hamilton.
Got it. Good
job.
Look at Jason.
Coming through in the clutch.
2,
not even the clutch.
Jason, Jacob, 1, Justin, 0. Next. Guys, I'm going to warn you. This is tough. And if one of you get this,
I like the pause.
I'll be impressed. This guy played 37 total games for the Thunder in their inaugural season.
It's gonna be tough for me.
So that's 2008, 2009. He's a big. He attended the University of Maryland, where he won a national
Justin.
championship.
Chris Wilcox.
Got it. Justin's on the board. All right.
He was like my favorite player early on in that season.
Nice. Yeah, no, you want to hear the remaining clues? They're pretty fun.
Sure.
Although he started 6 games for Oklahoma City, he was a key piece, averaging 8.4 points and 5.3 rebounds per game.
See that redhead dude?
No,
No.
he's
Very not.
big guy. Wore 54. I actually watched him play in college.
I knew you.
OU and Maryland played.
Yeah.
My grandpa took me. That was when Eduardo
you were
Hinahara
there.
was still at OU.
Hollis Price. No, that was,
Eduardo Hinahara?
oh, so you went before.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you know that year that he won a national championship with Maryland, OU had beat Maryland by
that-
21 points. Nara was gone by then. That was Hollis Price years.
That was like 01.
02.
02.
02.
That is correct.
Okay.
The last
I
clue
actually have no
is
idea.
his name rhymes with Friss Killsocks. Okay. Next one. So we got Jason's got 2, Jacob 1, Justin 1. Next one.
Frisk kill socks.
This player has played for OKC in 2 separate stints. He's a practicing Muslim. He's retired, but last played for Oklahoma City after 18 seasons in the NBA.
Jacob.
Justin.
Nazi Muhammad.
Got it.
Oh, that was good.
2, 1.
Damn it! I should have had that.
Next.
I wonder how many. Sorry, I wonder how many practicing Muslims the Thunder have had on the team. Cantor, Muhammad, Dion claims to be Muslim, but I don't know if he's a practicing Muslim.
His stomach hurt. The time that he missed the anthem or whatever.
I think that might be it. No, it's
Yeah,
just
I
interesting.
think
Go
that's
ahead.
all.
Next. This player is not currently in the NBA. However, he was last season. He spent about half a season with OKC. He's a combo guard. He has a condition called situs inversus that caused him to be born with his organs reversed, meaning his heart is on the right side of his body and the liver is on the left.
What is his name?
Although he's played 11 years in the league, he's been to the playoffs just twice, once of which was with OKC in 2015 and 16.
Oh, what is his name?
He had
I can see him.
He attended Villanova University. He was acquired by OKC for DJ Augustine, Steve Novak.
Jacob. Randy Foye.
Got it.
Damn it.
Is that 3
No,
for
that's
Jacob
correct.
now?
3.
Jacob's 3, Jason's 2,
Lost my
Justin's
lead.
1.
That
All
was
right.
stressful.
Next, Jacob's 2 away from winning. This is another player that's not currently in the NBA. But he did play 10 seasons in the league. Lastly, the 2014-15 season in OKC. He came to the NBA straight out of high school as the 13th pick in the 2004 draft. He's had 2 handgun incidents.
Oh, Jacob. Sebastian Telfair.
Ah, he got it.
I stumbled on my own name. I just said.
That's Jacob at 4, Jason's at 2,
My boy Sebastian.
Justin's at 1. You guys got some work to do here.
On that comeback.
Here we go. Next,
I'm not doing it.
Here we go. Focus. This player is American-British. Curveball, huh? Yeah, didn't expect that.
With me.
He's 28 years old. He's 7 foot tall, but he likes to shoot more than he does playing inside.
Jacob. Byron Mullins.
Got it.
Jesus.
Thank you.
He just.
We can keep going if you have more. I don't mind lapping these assholes.
I have so many more. Let's keep going. That's 5 for Jacob, 2 for Jason, 1 for Justin. Next.
I'm going to restart and beat him again. You guys keep your scores, though.
Here's another tough one.
He's a little shit talky, huh?
Ooh. This guy's currently playing in a Venezuelan pro league.
Holy shit. I don't even know if Venezuela had a pro league.
He's 31 years old. He played 1 season in Oklahoma City, and it was the final season. He was a part of the James Harden trade. He's a small forward.
Jacob.
I can't remember.
Daquan Cook.
You're deducted 7
Boom,
points.
you're back into losing. 7 points. -2 is what you're at.
Anyone? He attended Marquette University. He last played in the NBA in 2013.
I
It's a
can
tough
see his
one.
face.
It's a tough one. He
who I
wore a
think it is.
headband.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I can't think of his name. Oh, God. I don't know his name.
Lazar Hayward.
Yeah.
Lazar Hayward. The laser.
Ooh, I hope people were screaming at you guys.
I hope they were. I saw his face.
Next, this guy's a wing. He played 3 seasons in Oklahoma City. He's currently enjoying the best season of his career.
Jacob. Jeremy Lamb.
Got it. Where are you guys at? You guys listening? All right.
I'm watching marble races over here.
Oh, God damn it.
I ask if you're listening and no one responds. So,
I teach. Trust me, I feel your pain.
all right, here you go. You guys better be ready here. This guy's worn 2 numbers in his career, number 15 and number 7. He was born in 1984. He's never averaged below 20 points in a season
Jacob.
until this season.
Carmelo Anthony.
Got it.
Thank you.
Where you
I thought this was former Thunder players.
Oh, this is
I thought
Thunder.
you said
all
former,
Thunder
too.
players.
I was pretty sure you said former. All of these have been former, right?
Sure.
Up until
Yeah.
that point.
Well,
Yeah.
he's still a former Thunder player. Kind of.
what?
You
He's a
think
former
Daniel
Thunder-
Hamilton was a former player?
He plays for the
Yeah.
Blue right now.
Come
He's
on.
a former
sent
Thunder
down.
player. He still is, but he used to be.
Right. Next. So what are you at now, Jacob? 2?
I'm at
19?
2.
2, 2, 1.
Oh, you actually went back.
Next.
Okay.
This guy's a white guy. He's very white.
Jason. Cole Aldrich. Fuck.
Oh, I thought you were just
Shot my
saying
I had to shoot
Jason
my
is
shot.
the white guy.
I shot my shot.
He's a career 43% three-point shooter.
Ooh.
He was a
Oh, I
teammate.
should have listened.
He was a teammate of Carmelo's at once upon a
Justin,
time.
Steve Novak.
Got it, Justin.
Oh.
That a boy?
I'm going to end up losing now because
He is a white
I
guy.
took my Cole Aldrich long shot.
Here's a you know that he won the NCAA three-point shootout in 2005, 2006.
Didn't even know they had that,
Where'd
to
he
be
go to
honest.
school?
Marquette.
Marquette.
Okay. what
Second Marquette one on this
Yeah,
list.
that's what I thought.
So you're at 2. Everyone's at 2.
I'm back at 1.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh,
lose
I
a
don't
point.
actually
You don't
lose
lose a
points.
point.
Perfect.
All right, this guy came straight out of high school. His best scoring season was 10.1 points per game in 2009-2010. He's currently playing in the G League.
Jason. Kendrick Perkins.
Got it. Woo!
Hey, nice. Good
I
job.
forgot that he was
Perks
playing
in the
in.
G League?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
He's
Plays
with
for
the
the
Cleveland G League, right?
plays for the Canton Charge. Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
So
Okay.
Jason 3, Justin 2, Jacob 2.
But really
Next.
17.
This guy's currently playing in the Israeli Premier League after 6 years in the NBA. He won the NBA three-point shootout in 2009. He was on the Thunder's 2012 Finals
Jason.
roster.
Daquan Cook.
Got it.
Hey, I called Daquan
He's on
Cook
a
earlier.
roll.
There he is.
He's on a roll.
You got 4 now?
4.
Holy smokes. Good job,
It's
Jason.
about time.
Couple more. This guy currently plays professionally in Japan. So many of these. So many of these former Thunder players are
just
playing
overseas.
overseas. He's considered a bust as he was the number 2 overall pick
Jacob.
in the NBA.
Ah,
Hashim Thabit.
God
Got it.
Uh,
Got it. All right, Jacob's got 3.
4.
Jason's got 4. Justin's got 2.
Hashim Thabit's playing in Japan?
Yep.
He's so tall. They're all so short.
That's true. Next.
No offense.
This guy comes from a family of athletes. Both parents were All-Americans in their respective sports at New Mexico State University.
Oh, I almost fucked up.
He has 6 siblings. All of his siblings that are old enough are or have been Division I athletes. He was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2012.
Justin Russell Westbrook?
Wrong.
Jason Andre Robertson.
Got it.
good job.
2012. I didn't listen to the year. I just heard,
2013.
still, I didn't listen to the year.
You should have.
Is that 5 for me?
That's 5
So
for
did we
you.
both win?
Hey.
Or how'd
Well,
this work?
I have
top.
4 more players here. So Justin has a chance to tie this
Okay.
up. All right, next.
As he just
This guy's third on the all-time assist list for the Charlotte Hornets / Bobcats franchise. He's the 5th pick in the 2005 draft.
Jason Raymond Felton.
Nailed it, Jason.
Wow, good job.
So, actually, what's the total tally here? 7-6?
I think so.
Ooh,
We got
son.
a two-horse race here. This guy's
Sorry, bro.
This guy's a second-year player. His father is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's left-handed. He was originally acquired by OKC from the Orlando Magic.
Jacob Domas Sabonis.
Got it.
Oh, damn! I should have known that.
You got to get these.
I was on a different path
Yeah.
with my thought, and it was as soon as you got
Yeah, you took the scenic route.
Hey, shout out to Domas. He's killing it this year.
I know.
He's
Yeah,
been
he's
playing
okay.
great.
No one wants to talk about that. Let's move on.
Jason, you need to get
It's a
these
big
next-
hat.
You need to get these next 2 right here.
Oh,
This guy played only 4 career games for Oklahoma City.
that's gonna be
5
tough for
foot
me.
9. He's the NBA's first and only 3-time slam dunk
Justin.
Oh,
Nate
stop!
Robinson.
Got it. Woo!
Hey, by the way, you're welcome, Jacob.
Yeah, he just saved it. Hey, this
Thank
is
you.
a fun one, and we're going to include it just for fun because it is a fun one.
Fun is fun. I
This
like
guy
fun.
had a 14-year career, but he's no longer in the league. He owns 6 Burger Kings.
Oh, Jacob. Karan Butler.
Did you know that?
Yes, that everything you ever hear about Karan Butler, he's like, yo, I went to jail and then I owned some Burger Kings.
I did not know that.
Did
he
not
owned
know
Burger
that.
Kings until today.
All right.
Did you know that Karan Butler used to chew on a
Straws.
toothpick in games until coaches told him he had to quit, so then he switched to straws?
Oh, really? Well, he has an addiction to chewing on straws.
Yeah.
And he prefers McDonald's straws.
Straws. over Burger King straws, which he
Which
owns
he
how many?
owns them.
14?
6.
6.
Did you also
14 would
know
be too many
that
Burger
he has
Kings
an
down.
addiction to Mountain Dew? Like
He should move out to West Virginia.
I think he used to drink Mountain Dew at halftime.
Oh, God.
he wakes up, or he used to wake up in the middle of the night and drink a Mountain Dew.
This guy needs
God.
some help.
And
I bet he's got glow in the dark piss.
people like Kobe Bryant would try to help him, and he apparently still struggles with this addiction today.
Damn, son.
I know.
Needs
Isn't
to
that
move out to
crazy?
West Virginia
So
with
he's
that
not in the
Mountain
league
Dew
anymore.
mouth.
So does he just like drink Mountain Dew and play World of Warcraft?
I don't know. I do not know. Let's do some Twitter questions.
Let's do that.
Everyone's making fun of me right now.
Oh,
one
no.
is.
You're okay, man. It was
Yeah.
good effort.
It's
you
gonna
know?
be all right.
You got that couple of them.
From at JKMan08. Night like tonight on national TV and versus LeBron solidify PG-13 in the All-Star game. I know reserve spots are up for grabs still, and OKC needs him to make it.
He's a lock.
I think he should be.
I would
If
agree.
not just for his defensive greatness.
Right.
But
That's why I think he's a
but
lock. I think people.
also, he's had-
I think that national media is actually favoring Paul George as the defensive player of the year to this point. So I think he's a lock.
That's it.
Good.
I like
I would
it.
agree.
From temporary Vikings fan at Thunder Time.
Oh.
Do you think the Thunder could go after Hoof?
What?
How many hoofs do they need?
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Rodney
I think he
Hood.
did correct it to say Hood, but
Rodney Hood, yeah.
yeah.
I
we talked a little bit about-
Presti's
yeah.
for sure making the call.
Yeah, I
He's
agree.
trying.
He's 100% making the call. Will a deal get done? Nobody knows, but
How
he's
much-
making the call.
What do you think he'd be willing to part with?
I floated this idea last night. Abrinas, Grant, the Boston second rounder that's protected, and the Thunder's own second rounder for Hood and Epke Udo.
That'd be a good
I'd
trade
be
for
okay
the
with
Thunder.
I
Yeah.
think so too. I don't
Or
know. I
would
don't know if Utah
take
does
it?
that.
I don't know.
But if you're looking for Hood straight up, I think that you'd have to probably trade someone like Grant and maybe that Boston late second rounder and hope that that can get it done.
Yep.
You want to intermix some YouTube live questions?
Yeah.
Let's do that. All right. So Tyson Bebby said, "Did Robertson really get hit in the eye, or was he faking because he knew he wasn't making those free throws?"
Both.
He did definitely get hit
Yeah,
because
he
his
got
eye
hit
was like
hard.
super red.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was also faking it.
Let's go with from Kevin Aitken at K Aitken22. We got to see Patterson some with the Adams on the floor. Y'all have talked some recently about it being nice to see him more with a center. Thoughts on how it looked today? I think we already kind of touched on that.
We did touch on it a little bit, but I really like the question.
Yep, and I think he looked good. And
Yeah.
I would be
agree.
interested to see if the Thunder get a more traditional big coming off the bench. Then I think Patrick Patterson and that big would probably do pretty well together.
I'd agree. We talked about it. I don't know if it was last part or the one before, and we talked about what is the Thunder's primary trade target? Is it a wing, a playmaking wing, or is it a big? And it's a tough one to answer.
Because
But
they need both.
I keep going back and forth.
Yeah, right.
On that, I'm not real sure.
So, sticking with Kevin Aitken, was this our playoff rotation?
No. There's no chance
There's a
that
lot
all
of
bench
for-
lineup sees the floor in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I agree with that statement.
I think maybe if you look at the second half where they don't really come back like that as much.
Yeah.
Until the end, but
Yeah. Okay.
the second
that's
half,
fair.
yeah, I think so.
But I mean, also you're gonna see an uptick in minutes from all of those starters. I mean, you might see 40 minutes from Andre Robertson in the playoffs. That's the truth.
I'd be cool with that. So Amish McLaren says, what did you guys think of PG's new kicks? The PlayStation
PG2s.
PG2s, yeah. I thought they were pretty cool looking.
like
I liked them.
You know, I don't traditionally like low tops, but I do like his.
Yeah.
And I like that these ones don't have the strap. I mean, I think the strap on the PG ones look okay, but I'm
Not
not
a fan
huge
of
fan of
straps.
straps.
Straps are bad.
I think that the strap with especially when it was a white body and the blue strap, it just looked kind of weird.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
like it's
that.
like kind of like showing the straps like the main feature.
Yeah, it's like, look at this strap.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought one of the cool elements was the four Nikes kind of near the heel, where the colors of the buttons, your X, square, circle, and triangle.
Oh, that's
from
pretty
the,
cool.
From the
That's awesome.
PlayStation controller. So, nice little touch.
Yeah.
Hey, Reed Stepp on YouTube Live says, "What about this weather?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God, today was so nice.
It
I think
was.
tomorrow's
Oh.
supposed to be even better.
Really?
Tomorrow's supposed to be like 65,
Oh, dude,
66.
You just made my day.
Pumped."
God,
Guys-
I'm
Or
so
today,
excited.
if you're listening.
If you're listening tomorrow, yeah.
Guys, today was the nicest day of the year.
Yes.
You're right.
Easy.
By
Easy.
far.
Dad
I'm a
jokes.
big fan of spring too, so this weather it just makes me
Oh,
happy.
I just wish it was
Big
always
fan
this.
of good weather.
From Zach Weber 33 at Z Avalanche 33. How many sub 20 scoring games will PG have in a row now after this good game?
No, see what?
that's sad.
No, he's gonna have a couple good games.
Yeah, and then it'll go.
Then he'll dip.
He's got to have a couple good ones first.
What else we got?
Also from Zach, do we mark this as a good all-around team win, or playing the Cavs at the right time?
I think
Goes
it's
back to what Jacob was saying, right? A little bit of
a
bit
little
of
of both.
But you don't score 148 points on
Right.
an NBA team in regulation unless you're playing your ass off.
It's hard to discount that.
Yeah, and their defense was really good. I mean, what did LeBron have? Not many.
Not
18
many.
on 17 shots.
18 on 8 of 17.
Right. So that's
overrated. Am I right?
Yeah. What is he doing?
What
You
a
know?
little bitch.
Wow. All right. So Ben Greer says, why can't we play even a fraction as well as we did against worse teams?
I think some of it's a motivation and
Yeah.
an arrogance thing, right?
Yeah.
It's got to
They
be.
feel
I
like
mean,
they can just show up.
what other explanation could there be?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
I'm
have
with
one.
you.
I don't have one for you.
I don't either. I don't have one for me.
The bad teams just match up so much better somehow. But that's all. It's every
They really
bad
have
team
our
has
number.
some sort of mismatch against the Thunder.
They have great scouting teams.
From MBMG at MBG or at.
That's
It's
That's
fine.
annoying. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, at MBGM OKC.
Too many
Do we
letters.
still need bench scoring?
Yes.
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Now I don't think the bench is awful, but we could use help to bolster it for sure.
They're
Yeah,
not. They're not great.
And you know, like you're gonna be able to mask some of that come playoff time, like we've talked about. You're not gonna play
With
those full
rotation,
bench
yeah.
lineups, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it would be nice to have someone to rely on that can go get their own basket.
Yeah, for
And-
sure.
Instead of a 6 foot, wider than he is tall Raymond Felton going to the basket.
Bless his soul.
Wider than he is tall. All right, Panther fan 13. What about Derek Favors as a possible trade target?
He's not really a center. I mean, that's almost like Patterson.
Yeah, it feels very
Yeah.
Patterson-y
Yeah.
to me.
So I almost
almost
think
the
They're gonna
same
trade
person,
favors
a little.
for Nico Mirotic anyways. So
yeah. Now that's a good trade for the Jazz, I think.
yeah.
Except for Miritic's dumb face.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Mirotic, but for them, I think that's a good trade.
All right, moving on from Hunter Harjo at Hunter Harjo 7. When are we going to debut the new City jerseys?
That is on January 25th.
5th Thursday.
So it's the home. I thought they were debuting him
Is it against the Wizards?
on
They're
the road.
they're debuting. The Thunder are debuting their cities at home against the Wizards.
Okay.
The Wizards are debuting their cities when the Thunder are on the road in DC.
Yeah,
That's where it gets a little
Gotcha.
It
confusing.
doesn't.
Gotcha.
It wouldn't make any sense to wear your city jersey on the
away.
road.
Yeah, so the Thunder are
That's really not
debuting
as a
them.
debut.
It would be weird.
Solid point.
We're doing this on the 20th on a Saturday night, and the Thunder are debuting them on the 25th against
Which is
Utah.
Thursday?
Thursday night.
Thursday, if you're listening today.
Thursday
It's always
also if you're
Thursday.
listening
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
You know, Memphis already wore theirs because they've got the MLK.
Yeah,
'cause
that-
it's the
that
60th
I'm a man.
anniversary.
Those are
Yeah,
some of my
50th
favorites.
anniversary.
I think those are maybe, besides
They
the
look so
Thunder's
good.
statements, those Memphis jerseys, for the historical context, are maybe my favorite jerseys
They
in the
were,
Oh,
NBA.
absolutely.
they were awesome.
Yeah, they're cool. And then I always will vote for those Miami.
No, they're so good.
Those are
Miami
sweet.
Vice ones?
I want those to be permanent. Like
Yeah.
just that's
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
jersey.
That should
That's
be.
the only jersey they have now.
Yeah.
They
It
just
needs to
always
be.
wear that.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you guys real quick. Have you seen the Orlando Magic City jerseys, the Galaxy print
Yeah,
ones?
really
Yeah.
don't like them.
You don't like them?
I hate them.
Don't like them
I
either?
think
Wow.
they're real bad.
I'm kind of
They're
a
weird.
fan.
Yeah.
I need to take another
I just
look at
think I think they look real bad.
It's just a strange thing.
But like, here's the thing with me. I'm not gonna like any uniforms that Orlando comes out with.
Yeah, you have
Because
a bias.
I love their '90s uniforms so much.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they don't at least wear those sometimes. I don't understand.
I get that.
Hey, why are the Clippers jerseys just knockoff Thunder jerseys?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That's stupid.
Do we have any more?
Yeah, no, we got plenty. Christopher Banks
Got
at
plenty.
Panthers fan 2134.
Hey, is that the same guy as Panthers fan 13?
More,
Just mixing it up on us.
more likely to be
All
moved.
avenues.
More likely to be moved. Patterson or Grant?
This is a good question.
Grant. It's not even like an 80-20 or 90-10 for me. It's a 100-0
Really?
Grant.
I'm not like that, but I would say Grant. But I still think if they can't find a center, then I think they would look to move Patterson.
Interesting.
Yeah, if they could find the right deal for Patterson and it really worked in our favor somehow, I think they would do it.
I think
but,
they like
But I
Patter-
think they would lean towards moving Grant
Yeah.
first. Like that's
Grant's unrestricted this summer. Patterson's under contract for 2 more years
and
at a really good price point.
contract.
Yeah,
but that
that's-
might make his
true.
value. Like, might
It makes
give
his
him
trade value go
yeah,
up, but with
so.
the Thunder going in deep into the tax next year, I think they maybe value that Patterson contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Grant's definitely more likely to be moved.
Because of potential, I think you fetch more for Grant.
Interesting.
And finally,
This
going
isn't
with,
from Panther fan 417, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's from our
351.
It's from our main man Jesse Edgar.
Oh,
All right.
At OK Computer Guy.
That's right.
Why
Give
didn't
him
they
a
put
shout.
Collison out at the end of the Cavs game? Do you think they're arresting him for the playoffs? Winky face.
It is kind of funny how he doesn't
That's
even
good.
get out there in garbage time.
Yeah.
Do you think because it's like an insult? It's like, dude.
Well, they asked, maybe Collison just won't want to play, because remember last time Collison played, the coaches said, hey, Collison, you want to get in? And he kind of leaned up off the bench and said, yeah, I'll play. And walked in. So, like, he gets the option, so maybe he just wasn't feeling it today.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey man, he's an old guy.
He
Like
just didn't-
some days your back is feeling it, some days it's not.
Now, I know that he's revered in Thunderland, right? Everyone loves Nick Collison.
So
but
much.
I wonder if there's a part of him that is like, I didn't need to come back this year.
Yeah.
And maybe the Thunder could have
Could
brought
be.
in a different veteran for the minimum. They could play a little bit.
it's a good locker room guy. Though.
I will give a little
Hey,
spoiler
you're right.
here.
That's fair.
You're right.
On the Thunder trade primer that I'm writing up, that's going to be out here in a week.
You about to trade Nick?
I've ranked the Thunder players by tier on their tradability, and Nick Collison is firmly in the 100% will not be traded
Yeah,
category.
no chance they
Agreed.
do that to him.
Yeah.
Unless he's like, you know what, I'm
about to.
ready to retire anyways, and they strike a deal with a team that's like, they'll just buy out his
And
contract
then
and,
he'll come back and retire here.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be actually really funny if Nick Collison somehow got a piece and then retired that day, and so the trade still went through. Just like, do us a solid, Nick. Then
Yeah,
come back.
yeah.
That would be
Put we'll put your 4 up in the rafters.
I like it. That's,
That's
a good
awesome.
strategy.
That's a great idea. You should adjust that 100% no trade.
Great strategy.
Alrighty. Is that
That's
all?
all I got.
Notes! Well, that was powerful.
God, you went right up in there.
Yeah.
I
I
did.
felt you
Yeah, you
inside
could
my
stick
brain.
it in your mouth.
I did this. I'm like, this is me getting up in here.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Andre Robertson's trade restriction has officially been lifted as of January 15th, but don't worry, guys. He's
He ain't going
not
nowhere.
going anywhere.
No way.
Thunder GM Sam Presti and his wife Shannon provided a donation of $140,000 to the OKC Police Athletic League, the largest in its history. And that league its initiative is to launch fostering positive relationships with youth and law enforcement.
That's awesome.
Big donation.
Yeah.
I don't even have 140 grand, and they.
I don't
just
think I've
give it
earned
away.
140 grand in my entire life.
Yeah. They just give it away like that. But
Paul
really
George
cool cause.
debuted his new kicks, as we talked about.
Like them.
Like them, love them, or hate them.
Loved
the
it.
Houston Rockets released Briante Weber to sign the OKC Blues. Markel Brown to a two-way contract. Those around here might be familiar with Markel Brown. He played at Oklahoma State University in college, and he's kind of been hanging around Oklahoma City the past 2 years, I believe,
Yep.
right?
I think the D Leagues had like the Blue have had like 3 players looted from them recently.
Yeah, they had someone. Who was the guy that got signed like last week? I should have put that in the notes. I didn't.
I can't remember, but I think 3 guys got signed to 2 ways from the D League. I
think you're right.
From the Thunder's D League.
The
This
G League.
G League.
G League, sorry.
Same difference. This year's NBA All-Star Game performances include Kevin Hart. Big surprise.
Ugh.
Huh?
Is he going to talk
Yeah.
about just cheating on his pregnant wife?
I don't know. The headliners are Pharrell Williams and NERD. Fergie will sing the U.S. national anthem, and the Bare Naked Ladies will sing the Canadian national anthem.
I didn't know Terrence Ferguson sang. I felt fun. Missed it.
Bare
Is that-
Naked Ladies?
Is that an
Are
insult to
they
Canada?
paying to be in this? Carmelo
When's the last
Anthony.
time
They're
they
still
were
huge.
relevant?
The Bare Naked Ladies are like the only Canadian thing. Like the Winter Classic this year, they were there performing.
That's
So
like-
there's like, what about Celine Dion? What's she doing?
yeah. Get her in there.
Justin Bieber?
Her heart's always been going on, and no, no,
Nice.
Good one.
screw Bieber.
Carmelo Anthony is, let me do the math here, 232 points behind Jerry West on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Once he passes Jerry West, that will put him into the top 20 all-time.
It's good.
Nice, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
That's a pretty remarkable achievement
Yeah.
right
Yep.
there. One of the best scorers in NBA history. Russell Westbrook, speaking of scoring, is 24 points away, but actually, I need to update this. How many points do you have today? 20. He's 1 point away
Hey!
from entering the top 100 all-time NBA scorers.
I'm putting money that he gets that next game.
I'll take that bet. And last but not least, 148 points today against the Cavaliers was the most ever scored on a LeBron James team.
That feels
Yes, sir.
really, really very, very good.
How's
I
that
think
feel,
Justin brought up the stat that it's the second most in Thunder franchise history.
Behind that double overtime game against the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
back when Kevin Love was still there.
When Kevin
and
Love and
that one guy and Kevin Love kept trading threes.
Yep.
That was a really fun game.
that was
too.
I was there
That's
that night.
that's
That was
so
a fun
fucking
game.
memorable.
Yeah, and that was back when Kevin Love played for the Wolves. They used to give the Thunder hell every
Yeah.
time they played
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
He was such a good fit on.
All right, up next on Tuesday, the Nets come to town. Thunder are 0-1. If you remember, they lost to the Nets in Mexico City. On Thursday, the Wizards, old Scotty Brooks, coming to town. Thunder have yet to play the Wizards this year. On Saturday, Thunder head to Detroit. If you remember, they lost to Detroit at home in a terrible blown lead fashion, I believe. And then second night of a back-to-back, coming home to play the Philadelphia 76ers, who they beat in triple overtime in Philadelphia earlier this year. So we got 4 games this week, guys. Nets, Wizards, Pistons, 76ers. We're all at 4 points because we all lost a point this week. We all went 2-1. Thunder
Rob-
went 3-0.
Rob did it.
Rob nailed it, said 3-0. He's going 3-1 this week. What do you got, Justin?
Oh, part of me wants to say 2-2, but I'm going to go 3-1.
Nice. Part of me wanted to go 4-0, but I'm also going to go 3-1.
Well, this is lame. I'm going 3-1 too.
3-1.
Nope. I'm changing. I'm going 4 now. Fuck it.
All right, 3-1 for me. So everyone
Isn't this how
3-1 except for Jason,
Isn't
right?
this how this always happens?
Jason's 4-0. Yeah. Everyone else is 3-1. All right, we're sitting here with me with 1 loss. Jacob, you got a loss, and Rob's got a loss.
They're about to go 0-4.
No,
Just
I've got a loss. Well,
You don't have a
3-1
loss? Yeah. Well, not for overall.
Oh, now I got you. My bad.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter at OKC Thunderheads. Justin's over at ThunderTide. Jacob's over at ThunderMob405. Subscribe on YouTube. If you watch on YouTube Live, we really appreciate it. If not, you can go back to our YouTube channel. It's just Thunderheads. You can watch all these podcasts right there on the YouTubes. So if you just like audio only, subscribe on iTunes. We're also on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Overcast, our very own www.okcthunderheads.com. Jacob's got his trade article primer coming out. When's that coming out?
I think we're shooting for about a week.
About
be
1
a
week,
week-
from,
a week
now.
from now.
And like he said earlier, we're going to do a trade deadline little live show, so tune in for that. And what's our pod days next week? Wednesday and Sunday after the 76ers game,
Yes.
I believe. So we will catch you guys on Wednesday. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.